The business coaching industry has been screwing people over for years. The golden standard is to charge as much as possible for as little as possible, and I'm fucking tired of it. So, this is my response.
You are a coach, consultant, or service provider, or you want to be one, and you want to take your business to the next level. I am going to show you how you can do exactly that quickly, without all the coaching, without all the training, without all the consulting that you're offered out there in the world, and instead using freedom services, what I call done-for-you freedom services. So what is that exactly? Well, I'm going to show you in this video. What I promise you is what you are going to learn today you have never heard before. Why? Because we have created the first done-for-you freedom services for coaches, consultants, and service providers that exist in this world today. So, to give you something to learn about this opportunity, I'm going to bribe you a little bit here. If you stick until the end of the video, I am going to give you something that has insane value, no bullshit. You're going to get a done-for-you service by me or one of my team members who are literally going to build your business. So you are one of three business owners. One, you're somebody who is a newbie. You're a beginner, right? If that's you, listen carefully. If you're a beginner, then what you need is an irresistible offer. We'll literally create that for you. But most likely, you're somebody who's been in business for a while. Maybe you're making $20,000 a month, maybe more, maybe even $100,000. But you need more leads. You want to be talking with more people every day so you can close more deals for your coaching, consulting, or service business. Or thirdly, maybe you have leads. Maybe you have an irresistible offer that people love, but it's like you cannot really close on these meetings you're having, on these sales calls. So we're going to fix that. Well, how? Well, if you're somebody who needs more leads, we're literally going to create an ad for you. And we're going to place that ad for you, and we're going to give you leads for no cost. Yes, you heard right, no cost. If you stick until the end of this presentation, and if you qualify, of course, meaning you are the right fit. So if you're a coach, consultant, service provider, you will fit. We will literally, yes, you heard right. People are charging you thousands of dollars for coaching. And when we're talking about done-for-you services, that's really expensive if you need people who are experts. We'll actually do that once for you for no cost if you stick until the end. If you need more leads, if you need an offer, we'll sit with you and we'll craft that world-class offer for you. So you have something, you're like, whoa, now I can actually go out in the world and conquer. Or if you need sales, we're going to place somebody because we have a ton of people who are looking for job opportunities, commission-based. We'll place somebody to work in your company who can actually take calls, or we'll literally do one call for you and record it and give it to you. So you have three options basically, depending on which person you are. We can talk about that in the end. But I'm giving you a done-for-you service without you having to spend thousands of dollars if you stay until the end of the video. And you might be thinking, well, that's fucking insane. Well, my marketing director said the same thing to me. But I have been promised to deliver this to 100 people only. Why? Because I believe in leading with value. That's the way to build lasting relationships. And that's what I want with a few people who are the right fit. And the people where it's not a right fit, well, then at least we've added a ton of value, and I like operating in the world like this in our business. Another reason why I'm doing this is because I obviously always like to expand my circle of influence. You are the people you hang around, and I love entrepreneurs. So this is my way of networking with like-minded people. So stick until the end, and then this gift is for real yours once you've actually understood what I'm talking about. You might be thinking, well, who is this person who is speaking to me right now? And I understand why you're curious. I have been in business since I was 17 years old. My name is Neil, and now I'm 35. I started doing high-ticket coaching when I was 19, so I'm not one of these newbies. You see coaches everywhere. It was not like that when I began. It was definitely not popular. It was kind of like, well, you didn't really want to talk about it if you were at a party, for instance. What is a coach? Like, that's maybe a little weird. But now it's so popular. And I made $100,000 in one day at the age of 19 by learning from mentors like Frank Kern and John Reese, Tony Robbins. And I was like, whoa, you can actually do something great in this world, because I come from humble background. Nobody in my family has ever made money. And, you know, they wanted me to go the traditional way. And I decided not to do that. I have since then built multiple businesses. I also did events all around the world, multiple continents, multiple countries. Created this event company. I work with artists and superstars like The Weeknd, Akon. We had an event at the biggest nightclub in the world, Privilege. We had 15,000 people through the door, only room for 10,000 people. Worked in Dubai, worked in Copenhagen, worked with a bunch of influential people. Also then I built my own bar. I had a cocktail bar. I got a stake in a nightclub, restaurants, and I thought that was fun. Then I sold that and I moved on and I did a sales company. We had a sales company, a call center. I played around with that for a bit. And since then I've helped people all around the world. I had Dominic Sky come to me and he was like, man, Dominic Sky is this world record holder in calisthenics. He has 4 world records. And he asked me, man, like, I'm so successful with this and I want to help people, but I'm not making money. What are you doing? And I helped him. And then that's how I started my influencer business, Unicorn Freedom. And we are helping influencers all around the world. And basically we took him from nothing to, skyrocketing his results. Maybe we can talk about that later. But I have now helped people in 42 countries become more successful with their businesses, and I am privileged to be standing here in front of you. It's not been easy always, but it's just so you know a little bit about me and who I am. High ticket closing is something that I understand pretty well, but I'm just tired of the fucking coaching industry because the golden standard, as Sam Ovens he introduced, maybe you know who that is, but he was talking about, and now the whole industry is talking about this, charge as much as possible for as little as possible. That's the golden standard. I don't like that. Because information has always been free. So you might be a coach, but I believe you should be the best goddamn coach in your industry. How do you do that? Well, by providing something that is unique, by providing an experience, first of all, and then delivering more value than anybody else in the industry. And maybe you're a beginner and this is out of your reach, but whatever you start, you should start it right. You're planting a tree. It's the seed. Give it the right water. Give it the right nurturing that it needs, and that's basically what we're doing in this presentation. Now what's most important to me is that I enjoy life and I live it to the fullest, and then I just do whatever is needed. And I see that the industry needs this. They need somebody who says, fuck coaching, let's get it done the right way. Because I was irritated by looking at people who try hard and spending a lot of money on trying to better themselves with a coach or business coach, and then not really building their coaching business to the level that they thought was possible. They've been deceived. And personally, I had an experience where 3 times in a row I was scammed. It's not a real scam, but it's a semi-scam. It's in the gray area. It felt to me like a scam because I was promised one thing and I just did not get that thing from the business coach. I went to the business coach and I asked for a certain service, and sure, there was some great information. But 3 times. First, I paid $45,000. Should have thought that I learned the lesson. Didn't get jack shit. Second time, I paid $15,000. That was actually not in that order. First, I paid $10,000. Then I paid $45,000. And then lastly, I paid $15,000 for 3 different coaching programs. And I was like, if this, to me, the money was not that important. But still, money is important. If you buy something, you should get a service in return, especially if you think the whole problem is coaching is not quantifiable. And I was like, you know what? We've got to change this. And that's why we have built the first agency in the world for coaches, consultants, and service providers who want freedom services. Done for you freedom services. We're going to talk about what that is in a second. Now, I like to enjoy life, live it to the fullest. Right now, maybe we should film the beautiful scenery here. We are in the Himalaya mountains, and I'm on this retreat. I only work when I decide I want to, when I want to. Why? Because life should be all about living it to the fullest, in my experience, in my opinion. And it's all about being on mission. And that's what I want to help people with. Now, the central thesis here is screw coaching. Okay? Fuck coaching, fuck getting business coaching. And there's different reasons for this. It's not that knowledge is not good. Of course knowledge is great. But knowledge has always been free.
Imagine if you went to the restaurant
Here you go, sir.
and then they just threw the ingredients at you.
Here you go, sir.
Coaches throw information at you and it's bullshit. Instead, get done for you services like you would get your meal done for you.
The issue is there's a golden standard in the coaching industry to charge as much as possible in the business coaching industry for as little as possible. There are group programs, one-on-one attention, mentoring. That's all good. It's usually in a 60 or 90 day frame. But the problem with that is you really never get the kind of results that you should get for that kind of investment you're making. If you're investing $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in something, you better get a result. They usually give you a framework, which is good, and then some support. I just don't think it's worth that much money. The coaching industry seems to disagree. You're not really getting that real result that you're desiring usually when you go with coaching, because it's usually the small details that's going to make up the success. They say 20% of your success, 80% of your success is in the details. 20% of what you do is actually creating 80% of the success. Usually that 20% the details, it takes time to learn, man. That's why the fucking coach, he was in business for 10 years, 15 years, 7 years, whatever. It took him some time to learn what he's teaching. And you think you can go in 90 days and just get it? Well, I don't blame you for thinking like that, because their marketing is great and I feel for it too. But the reality is that to get this internalized, it does take time. So you're never getting those real results that you truly want. The speed, it takes a lot of time. So I see people who have spent a lot of investment into coaches and consultants, and then years after are not where they want. So there's a problem. You're not getting the right results. You're not getting the results in the speed that you should be getting them, and you're spending too much money. What is the solution? Walk with me. The solution is what I call done-for-you freedom services. What is done-for-you freedom services? Well, it starts with you getting an assessment with a capable company or person. And by the way, you don't need to do this with me. You can do that with anyone. But you get an assessment, and then you identify what is the problem. What's the one thing in your business that if you fix that, it will go to the next level? Example, you're not having enough leads, but you have a great offer, but you don't have customers to talk to. If you came to me and I delivered 100 people this month that were qualified for you, that's a done-for-you freedom service. We assess what the problem was, and we go in and fix it. When you work with people on this, you need to make sure you're working with qualified people, meaning people have a track record in your industry with that specific problem you need solved. That's the second thing that's important to know about done-for-you freedom services. The third thing that is crucial is that they actually give you a guarantee. The last thing that's really important when you get your done-for-you freedom services into your coaching, consulting, or service business is that you get some speed with the people that you work with. You want to see results fast. Why? Because you want to keep that momentum. I love it when I have got, well, I don't really love it, I'm being sarcastic, but I've been onboarding into a coaching business, some kind of business coach, and then it takes a week just to get started. Fuck that. Once you get done-for-you freedom services, you need to get results from the get-go, and you need to keep that momentum. So 4 things you need to look for when you're getting done-for-you freedom services into your coaching, consulting, or service business. I talked about, number 1, getting an assessment. Identify the problem. Number 2, work with people who actually have a track record with that specific problem. Number 3, make sure they have a guarantee. We didn't touch on this much, but let me just elaborate. A lot of people will tell you guarantees. You should not have that in your coaching business. This is literally what's taught in these business coaching courses. Don't have a guarantee. Why? Because then all of a sudden you are obliged to deliver a certain result. It's nuts. In my world, if you are paying for something, you should be guaranteed to get something in return. It's an exchange of energy. It's really that simple. Exchange of value, if you will. So the whole notion of not having a guarantee is nuts to me. Like, if you really are good at what you're doing, you should have a guarantee. The problem is coaching is not quantifiable. So I understand that. That's why I want you to deliver 10 times more value than any other coach in your industry. And also, I want you to monetize on experiences, because you can turn something into an experience. People are willing to pay for experiences. But anyways, the guarantee with the done-for-you service, if you're getting somebody, it could be a person you're getting in or a company you're getting in, you should make sure that you have a contractual guarantee, a contract that states the guarantee, because here's how business works. And a lot of you guys know this, so forgive me for a second, but there are some people who are new. When you have a guarantee on a contract, then all of a sudden, the person you're buying for, the company you're buying from, they have an obligation to the service, to the payment gateway like Stripe or PayPal to actually deliver. Or else you can do a charge bank with your bank even. So you can go in and say, you know what, I didn't get this, and this is the contract, there's a clear contract, and then boom, you get your money back. That's called a contractual guarantee. And coaches, consultants, they don't want you to do that, right? So, and nobody wants you really to actually, go in there and ask for your money back. But if you're somebody who's a service provider and you're confident what you're delivering, then you don't have a problem with it. So you should work with people who can give you a service on that specific problem where there's a guarantee. And then lastly, speed. From the get-go, there needs to be speed, and there needs to be an expectation towards that. So that's what done for you freedom services are. So I know how it feels to be in a business that's not where you want it to be. Can you imagine actually having the business that you want? What will it do to your freedom, your sense of freedom? If you're in control, you have the profit that you want. You have the income that you want. You have the time that you want. What about you being able to do what you actually want, what you are most passionate about? And maybe that's your business, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's diverse. I'm right now at a health retreat, and I just thought, you know what, let's shoot this video. Me and Lucas went out here, and we are having a good time shooting this video because we decided we wanted to. That should be your life. That when you work, it's because you want to. So there's a path to that ultimate freedom. Maybe you want to travel more. Maybe you want to dive really into your health, as I said. Or maybe you want to dive into relationships. Or you want to just have more excitement into your life. You want to hang out with friends more, travel more, do all the fun stuff. It's more fun when you have a business that works for you instead of you working for the business. It should serve you. Problem is a lot of people are stuck in there. What about impact? Maybe you want to become number one in your industry and have that impact. Maybe that's what really matters to you, being on podcasts, having influence, and all that fun stuff. So imagine, how's that going to feel? How's that going to taste? How's that going to look? And I want you to take a second here. Just bear with me for a second because this is for you. Think about that right now because it's important for the next part. How would that actually feel? They say once you actually feel it, then you have the opportunity to get there easier. And that's true. Once you can see it, conceive it, believe it, and feel it, it becomes reality if you have the right plan. I'm here to give you the right plan. An example of somebody who built his coaching business from nothing and became successful is Dominic Sky, as I mentioned before. Dominic Sky has 4 world records. He is a freak of nature. He's a calisthenics expert. He called me and said, man, I know nothing about business. He had made $2,000. That was his best month ever at that point. He had to borrow money from his mom to come and see me. And in 2 months, what happened was we implemented Done For You Freedom Services into his business. We identified his issue, and we just created the marketing for him. We created the offer for him, and we did even the sales. So that was a complete 360-degree impact we had on his business. But then after 60 days, he managed to build the foundation for a 7-figure business. And we actually made a little less than $100,000 starting from scratch in those 60 days, and then we took it off. And they had to literally call me and say, stop the marketing, stop the sales. We are getting too many leads. We cannot solve this, because they were doing camps in Slovenia. They had these amazing experiences. They took people through 5 days in his gym in Slovenia, which he built in his backyard. Pretty cool. But anyways, testimonials like this, case studies like this, you can see it on our website. There are videos. We have 100+ testimonials. This is just an example. Speed is key in business. And a lot of people, they're like, oh, this is too good to be true because they don't have the business experience. If you get somebody into your business that is already operating at the frequency that you want to be operating in and are solving a specific issue, and they have done that multiple times, well, then that's what they do. And they are going to take you with them, lift you up. It's kind of like these money trains. I like to look at this metaphor as a train. If you have these high-speed trains and they're already going at fast pace, what you just need to do is jump on that train instead of trying to go from A to B on your own. Walking, that's going to take a long time. Instead, jump on the train and get there. So that's what you're doing to your business when you do Done For You Freedom Services, when you implement that into your business, rather. Listen, do me a favor, please. Don't let this be yet another video that you watch without doing anything. I heard a smart man once say, Knowledge means nothing. Knowledge implemented is everything. One thing I've learned is that successful people, they have a trait that's called speed of implementation. How fast from when you get a piece of information, how fast do you process that into actual action? That is what a successful person does pretty fast. Here's something, let's do it. I want you to make a decision now that you need done for you freedom services into your business. Not with me, but just in your business. Go out there and do it with somebody else. But I promise you, the difference between going and spending all your time on YouTube and podcasts or investing in a coaching business versus getting done for you freedom service, it's two different worlds. It's like fucking the moon and Mars. It's just different. And what I want you to do is achieve success. Another mistake a lot of people do is that they're not willing to invest the kind of money it requires to get done for you freedom service. That is a mistake, my friend. Richard Branson is a great example of this. He actually has the world record of most billion-dollar companies built from scratch. 9 billion-dollar companies in 9 different industries. That is insane. That's the guy, Richard Branson, who built Virgin Airlines, Virgin Records, and all that good stuff. He later sold that and that became something else. But anyways, you get the idea. His number one rule is hire the best people and pay them what they deserve. Hire the best people and pay them what they deserve. And a lot of business owners, when they're starting out, they do the mistake of saving on that part. This is not where you should save, brother or sister. That will be a mistake, because what will happen is you will get a mediocre experience. You'll get a mediocre result, most important. You will get people who are actually not capable of solving your issues, and it's going to be a training period. So it's not only the money you're spending on them that you're going to waste, but it's also the opportunity cost. The months and months and sometimes years of work that you're going to be doing without getting a result. So there's all this, in a parallel universe, all these results that you could have earned, all these money you could have made, but you're not making them because you've invested in the wrong person. You need to work with people who can give you done for you freedom services that are on point. What I'm trying to say is, if you are somebody who's trying to save in the here and now, it's going to cost you a lot more in the long run. That's not a smart move. If you want to be a successful business owner, maybe you already are, maybe you're making 6 figures, 7 figures, maybe even 8 figures, then you know that it's really important to be smart in your strategy. Invest the right places. So if you're not investing in this area, it's going to cost you a lot in the long run. And that's a mistake. So my friend, you got a decision to make. Are you going to take this information and use it? Man, I did all this crazy stuff. I burned down a flag with business coaching on it, right? Like, I'm flamboyant. I'm sitting in the Himalayas. Why? Because I want you to understand this message. I want you to really internalize the decision of getting done for you freedom services with the 4 rules I showed you before. Pick a freedom service, somebody to deliver a freedom service in the way that I explained, and you are guaranteed that your business will skyrocket. It's not rocket science, man. It's like going to the gym. If you are 30 pounds, 40 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, whatever, and you want to lose that weight, just be eating right thing, have an activity, every single day, go to the gym, and you will lose weight. That's not rocket science. The same thing with business. It's cause and effect. That's what it is. So the cause here is that we're taking the right causes, we're looking at solving your issues, and then we're doing the things that will naturally have the consequence of you growing your business. So make a decision. That's another trait of successful people, that you're going to implement this. Just say it with me right now. I am going to get done for you freedom services. That's it. I am going to not settle when it comes to the people who touch my business. And I'm not going to settle with information that is packaged nice. I'm not going to invest in a high-ticket coaching program. I'm going to invest my money and my time into something where I am much more guaranteed to get a result by getting the right people in my business. Sometimes it's just one right person can solve it, and don't compromise on the quality. Make that decision. Don't let this be another thing you're just watching without doing anything about it. Implement speed of implementation. Become successful with this trait. And again, as my good friend Abdel Iskander says, speed attracts success. So if you sit there and wait on things, nothing will ever happen. And like Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and then expect another result. Maybe it's time to change things up a little bit. Listen, I was not born successful. They say there are two routes to success. Either you are in the right environment, you have the right traits, and you're just a winner. You just win all the time. I wish that was me. It wasn't me. But actually, it turned out pretty fucking amazing because I had a lot of struggle in my life. And they say that one of the hardest traits to actually build within you for well-being and for success is resilience. And resilience comes from you actually facing adversity. So I was not born with any family support or any big brother or any mentors. I was never lucky to stumble upon that. And I had to figure shit out on my own. And I know how it feels to be homeless. I've been homeless a couple of times. But I refused to settle. I wanted something better in life. I know how it is to not being able to get out up of bed, man. I was literally in bed for 2 days. I remember this vividly. It was a horrible time in my life, and I could not get up out of bed. And I literally, like I couldn't physically. And then when I hear people saying that, like, you just have to switch it on, and I heard these things, and I was just like, I just couldn't do it. So I know how that feels, and it was frustrating. It was painful. You felt like you just wanted to give up. And that thought actually came across my mind multiple times. But for some reason, I just kept going. And then slowly, I got into the right situation where by luck, I learned about Done For You Freedom Services. It was not until my friend Matt, he introduced it to me by accident. He didn't call it Done For You Freedom Services. He was my friend, and he tried to convince me to actually go out there in the world and do something great. This was with a service business. I know that I told you that I started out when I was 19 years old. This is many years later. And I was broke at the time. I had not a fucking penny to my name. And in 4 months, we made $500,000 by him implementing Done For You Freedom Services into my coaching business. He convinced me to start it. We did it. And in 4 months, we made $500,000 starting from scratch. That is the power of Done For You Services. Because of that choice I made many years ago of getting Done For You service into my business, I made that first $500,000, and that turned into now the multiple 8-figure businesses that we run around the world. It would never have been possible without actually getting the Done For You service. And that's what I want for you, my friend. You might not want a big business. Maybe you want just to make $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 extra in your pocket every single month. Whatever your ambition level is, make sure you get there in the fastest possible way, and make sure you actually get there. So how do you actually get there? Well, you get there by getting Done For You Freedom Services if you choose. I promise you in the beginning that you would get a Done For You Freedom Service from myself and my team for no cost, and I stand behind that. If you're a coach, consultant, or service provider, and you want more business, meaning you want to grow your business, then yes, we'll help you. You are one of 3 people. Either you're a business owner who needs more leads. In that case, we'll create an ad for you, and we'll run it for you, and you will get leads to you for no cost, just to show you that we are not bullshitting. We have cutting-edge methods of how to provide the kind of leads that you want. If you are in the segments of industries that we actually can help, and we can help most industries, reach out to find out more. So we'll do that for you for no cost, no bullshit. Number 2, maybe you are somebody who needs a better offer. We'll actually sit there with you, brainstorm, and create an irresistible offer so you have a one-pager and you know exactly how you can deliver 10 times more value than anybody else in your industry. I think that's pretty cool. Number 3 is if you're somebody who have leads, you have a great offer, but you can't do sales, we'll do one of 3 things. Either we'll place somebody into your business because we have a hierarchy of so many people. We have like a whole, what's it called? Not a hierarchy. What's the English word for this? We have a whole pool of people who are looking for business owners they can serve. We have a bunch of remote closers, so we'll place them in your company and they will do sales for you. So that's one thing we can do for you. Another thing we can do for you is we can actually do the sales in-house in our company for you. If you have a great offer and we stand behind it, and then what we'll do is we'll actually do the sale for you and we'll record it so you know exactly how to do it moving forward. Or thirdly, we might just give you feedback on what you're already doing and coaching you, listening to what you're doing and coach you. This is something that coaches, consultants, and especially service providers cannot do. And if they are promising you anything like it, they will charge you thousands of dollars. So why do I want to give it away for no cost? Because I believe in leading with value. That's how you build relationships. And I want a network of 100 plus business owners and entrepreneurs in our network that I just like that. That's an amazing thing to have. And on top of this, I want to handpick a few of those 100 people because I'm only allowed to give it away to 100 people. Why? Because it's costly. My marketing director said, "Are you crazy? Are you nuts? We cannot do this. It's going to cost us money." But I believe in investing into our people. So at the end of the day, the worst thing that's going to happen is we have provided a ton of value and we found a small group of people out of the 100 people that we actually want to work with. And it's also a great way to see how people, they implement. Because you got to implement something. You got to actually, once the leads come in, you need to be able to get on the phone on the right time. You need to be able to close the people. So if you say you can close, well, great. Here's a bunch of leads. Are you actually becoming successful? And usually what we do is we also take a commission of those businesses that we work with. And we can talk about that later. But for now, I just want to offer you something for no cost. So you're getting one of three things. Either more leads, an incredible, irresistible. You're getting more leads, an irresistible offer, or an optimized sales process. Choose one of them. You cannot choose multiple things. And only for serious people. So don't waste our time. Be respectful. If people are getting on a call, "Oh, give me this, give me that," we say, "You know what? Thank you for showing up, but this is not the right place for you." And maybe even somebody will call you first to just make sure you're not wasting our freedom strategists' time. We call them freedom strategists. These are business owners themselves who are making at least 7 figures, who knows what they're talking about and they understand freedom services, and they have been indoctrinated into our company. These are my partners. So you're not talking with somebody who's a nobody. You're talking with a business owner. And I need you to show up on time. I need you to be present and be focused. So if at this point you're like, "Well, this Neil, he talks too much. I don't want to talk with him." If there's anything in your body who's not ecstatic about this, don't get on the call. You're wasting your time. If you're ecstatic about taking your business to the next level, no bullshit, without coaching, without training, and actually getting it done fast, I promise you got my word that will take your business to the next level. But you gotta be somebody who is coachable. You gotta be somebody who is open. You gotta be somebody who actually wants speed and can back that up. If we're giving you leads and you're not doing anything about it, that's your problem. Actually, in order to get this done for you freedom service from us and this whole strategy and the possibility to also work with us, you need to be somebody who fits these criteria. Number one, you need to either have a coaching, consulting, or service business or want to start one. Either you have one or you want to start one. That's number one. The second thing is you need to have some kind of problem that you need help with either marketing, your offer, or sales. The third criteria that you must live up to in order to get this done for you service is you must be somebody who wants to deliver 10 times more value in your industry than anybody else does. Maybe you don't know how to do it, but you should have the desire. We don't want to work with anyone who has the golden standard to charge as much as possible for as little as possible. If that's you, then this service is not for you. And if you have any doubts of this actually working for you, then we've created a few case studies for you that you can look through and see what is actually possible. And you can go to our website with over 100 plus case studies of what's possible with done for you services. Here are a few examples. So here are a few examples of what's actually possible. Let's start with Noor, who has been with us now for a little less than 2 years. What I love about Noor's story is when he came to us, he was a chef working in a kitchen, hated his job, and basically had no experience whatsoever in business and no high-paying skill set to his name. And in less than 2 years, he has now built a 7-figure business starting from scratch. That's obviously a great case study, but just to show you what's actually possible with Done For You Freedom Services. Another example is Dominic Sky, who didn't make more than $1,500 in his best month with his calisthenics business before meeting us. And in the first month of launching his business, after 2 months of preparations with us, he made a little less than $100,000. So all in all, $100,000 in 90 days. And here we got Matt Artisan, who in 4 months, we made $500,000 in revenue for. And we also got Joey here, who went from 0 to $30,000 plus months. And last time I checked, he is on his way to $100,000 months. So that's pretty amazing. His previous business, which was a side hustle, had not made more than $2,000 before meeting us. That was in a service business doing a video. Anyways, for customers. Anyways, all these examples are examples of people who build either coaching, consulting, or service business. And it's just to show you what's actually possible. If you go to our website, you'll see we have over 100 testimonials. We have video interviews and video testimonials.
All right, what to do now? It's pretty simple, man. There are only 100 spots for Done For You Freedom Services that are free, meaning we are doing one thing for you that is for no cost to build the relationship with you. And we're also creating your plan that you can use in your business to grow for no cost. You don't have to pay us thousands of dollars. Only for 100 people. This is an experiment we're doing. So what to do now? Well, I don't know how many people at this point, at this particular time, has actually taken advantage of these services when you're watching this. But if I was you, I would be fast on my hands now and actually book that freedom assessment. We're going to look at your business, we're going to assess what the problem is, and we're going to show you how we will solve it. And we'll actually solve it with one action. And then you can apply to work with us. We will see, are you actually implementing the things that you need to be implementing, that you have promised us that you can do. And if you're doing that, we will give you the opportunity to apply to work with us. This is how we actually choose the right people to work with. This is our qualification process, if you will. So what do you need to do now? Take advantage before it's too late and book that assessment right now. So maybe you already spoke with somebody on our team, or maybe you haven't. Maybe you know what to do now, maybe you don't. But if there is something on the page here, then you should probably click that link and book it. If not, don't worry, you probably already booked it in. If you have booked it in, what you should do now is make sure that it's in your calendar. Make sure you don't miss out. We don't like to entertain people who are wasting their own time and our time. Why? Because it's just not successful. It's just not good business. Make sure you're on time. Make sure you're zoned in. And make sure that you're ready to skyrocket your business. I know that there are a lot of magicians out there. A lot of people who are saying one thing and doing another thing. There's a lot of scammers. I believe there are a bunch of scammers out there just doing anything they can to get a quick buck. They're not willing to really put in the hard work to create a service and a business that actually provides value. So if you're skeptical, I understand. But I'm going to give you no excuses to be able to help yourself now. If you go through our process, this is my guarantee to you. If you go through our process and don't feel it's been absolutely worth it, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a gift card to Amazon for $200. You can just spend it on anything. Buy some wine, buy some books, whatever. As long as you email me on my email address, it's here on the page. Email me and then tell me with explanation, like a decent explanation of why it was not worth it. But that will not happen. But in case it will happen, then I'm open. You know, we could have somebody on the team who's sick, who didn't show up. I don't know. It's never happened. But let's just say that, you know, anything is possible in this world. If for some reason you didn't get an incredible experience and result by talking with our people, then I will give you $200 that you can spend on Amazon. And in return, you will tell me what we should improve. Hey, I always want to improve. But what will actually happen is you will have an incredible experience and you will actually see, not only see, you will feel that it's possible to take your business to the next level because we'll provide a service for you for no cost. So what to do now? Well, if you haven't scheduled a call, better schedule that call before you miss out. If you have scheduled that call, then I'm looking forward to see you succeed. All right, so you might have some questions about this whole thing. One of the questions you might have is, well, how can they actually deliver this service for no cost? So it is no cost, but I want you also to understand that we only want to work with a certain type of individual, somebody who we believe will actually use what we're doing for them and actually show up. Like, imagine if you came to us and said, do some ads for me. And then we spend hours creating an amazing ad and we implement it, we spend money on it, and then you're nowhere to be found. And we have like 30 people who want to speak with you. That's waste of our time, it's waste of our money. So, would you have to invest something? Yes, sure. So obviously the costs on our side, time and money, will be depending on what kind of problem we're solving for you. What we will ask for from you is a deposit. It's 100% refundable deposit. You get that back once we have delivered the service. Why? We just don't want to be in a situation where we're doing all kind of work, we are spending a lot of money, and then you're nowhere to be found and you're not showing up. You will get the deposit back after we've delivered.